Good evening and welcome into the number one group of six college football show in the history of the world. This is the Group of Five Guys presented by FanDuel. Our mission is to be the voice for the Group of Five football programs, the voice that the mainstream sports media absolutely refuses to be. We need your help to do that. Hit the follow button on all the social media platforms at Group of Five Guys. Go to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Believe Network, wherever you get your best podcasts. Subscribe to the channel, leave a 5-star rating and a review. Most importantly, tell your family and friends all about us. On this episode, main topic is Conference USA head coaches. Who's under the most pressure to win in 2026? We're going to talk a little bit about Brendan Sorsby and his gambling addiction. Plenty more. Hope you enjoy the show. This is the Group of Five Guys, and we are coming to you live.
They got Old Dominion week 3, and ODU is by no means a layup. Group of Five Guys told me that, so that has to be true.
We looked at each other, we was like, Mike, the best place to be is a Group of Five. So I'm sitting here with the Group of Five Guys, right?
Troy has won, it's been a winner, and it's a special place, so it's why you want the job.
But it's a ton of fun to watch a guy go to the NFL from a Nevada or a Colorado State or a Middle Tennessee or an App State, and fans follow that kid.
It was across there. You want to have this thing packed out, have the student section packed out, giving those guys hell on the sideline. I mean, that's part of it. I mean,
win or lose, like we're winning the tailgate.
There's no better place to be developed in this country than Boise State.
Jeff Murphy, how the hell are you?
Sprouse, I'm outstanding. Just got back from Panama City Beach. Was down there last week for my oldest son Dominic's baseball tournament. So I got the nice gold-colored tan going. The Sicilian skin's coming out. So
nice.
It's all good.
Now you probably don't burn.
No, I don't. Here's the problem, Sprout. People put all this sunscreen on.
No, you didn't. No, not this guy. Not after we talked to Coach Drinkle. I don't put anything on.
You got all these seed oils, all this other junk that's in there.
Yeah.
You gotta let the skin get the vitamin D.
Yeah.
You'll be good to go. You get one quick burn and then you'll be solid.
Yeah. Well, how was it down there? Did you get good weather? We had a lot of rain last week.
We did. The first night when we went out to dinner, it started pouring. We were on the pier fishing. By the way, you want to talk about a racket. That's a racket. Not only do you got to rent the poles, then you pay the toll to get on the damn pier.
Yeah.
Then you got to buy the bait. So we go out there for about 30 minutes, throw our poles in the water a couple times, and I just see these dark clouds rolling in. And I was like,
it's time.
We got to go. So we check the poles back in, and we walk over to the little pier area, or they got a bunch of restaurants and shops. So you go and eat, and it just came, a downpour, torrential downpour. But other than that, that was the only time it rained. Had plenty of baseball, plenty of sunshine, plenty of pool and beach activities. It was a great trip. Great families that go along with it, so it's a good time.
That's great. Dude, I got to tell you what happened to me, Jeff. I won Father of the Year on Friday, actually. Yeah, I was
really?
Anointed Father of the Year by many middle-aged women in the Target store here in Georgia. So Lauren went to get her hair done on Friday afternoon. So I had all three of the kids, and I don't often have all three. I mean, we have a 1-year-old, so he is with mom most of the time. But she had a hair appointment, and as you know, that takes all damn afternoon.
No doubt.
This is like a 3-4 hour endeavor. So I'm not going to sit in the house. So I took him to Target, and dude, it's so fun. You don't have to do much as a dad in today's society for like the boomer women to be like, God, this guy's unbelievable. All you got, so I'm in Target, and so right, the baby's asleep, falls asleep in the car. He's in his little car seat, little carrier thing. Yeah. So I just stick him in the cart, just put him in the cart. And then Jace, the middle kid, fell asleep in the car also. He's 3. So he ain't light anymore. So I got him here, and then Cam's walking. And then Cam's pushing the cart, but I'm kind of like guiding him. You know what I mean? And dude, I probably, no lie, Jeff, 6 different people are like, wow, Dad of the Year. They're like, well, they all give you the boy, you got your hands full, that whole thing. And I'm just like, yeah, man. And then the one lady, this was like, I'd never seen anything quite like it, Jeff. She's like staring at me, and I'm also buying a vacuum in there. So we got a new vacuum in this Browse household.
Mr. Mom.
Yeah. So but I'm holding a 3-year-old, and the vacuum, I'm having a hard time getting it, and I can't put it in the cart because I got the carrier in the cart. So I got to put it in the bottom. So I'm like using my feet. I'm squatting down. I'm doing the whole thing, and this woman's just staring at me, and she's like, "Are you by yourself?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then she was just like, "Wow, dad of the year." That's what she said. And I was like, I mean, thanks, lady, but my wife does this daily.
Yeah.
So it's just no big deal. But it was good stuff. And then of course Saturday, Jeff, I mean, I went down there to Troy, took my oldest kid down there to the Super Regionals game 2. I mean,
looked like it was cracking.
What an environment. And you know how Troy is. So you got kind of the baseball. If you're standing there on the corner of like Tailgate Terrace, you got the football stadium straight away, and then you got the baseball stadium kind of off to the left. So they have just opened up Tailgate Terrace as general admission. And I mean, I got tickets for like $15. So, and they were cheaper before they won on Friday. So they were going up now. So I don't know what everybody else got, but I got in there for like $15. Brought a couple of lawn chairs out there, just posted them up there in left field. And then they got the screens all around Tailgate Terrace. And man, it was just like it was like a giant tailgate with a baseball game going on. And I mean, it was electric. It was absolutely electric. I enjoyed myself. I'm not sure my kid understood the magnitude of the game. As what was at stakes or anything. He's just seeing a lot of people and kind of having fun, eating snow cones and stuff like that. So, but of course, Troy won on to Omaha this weekend versus West Virginia.
Well, see, Sprouse, here's the problem. They shouldn't even have been eligible for the playoff.
I know.
Is my thing. So now they take on West Virginia, plus money, plus 186 according to FanDuel to beat West Virginia in the first game. I'm taking the Trojans. I mean,
they're red hot, and I don't know who's throwing, but the kid who pitched on Saturday, I mean, they couldn't touch him. And that's the great thing about baseball. If you got a starting pitcher that can give you 7, 8 in it, I mean, they couldn't touch him. Could not touch him. And so, they score a couple of runs, and it's over with. It's disheartening.
Yeah.
If you're Little Rock and you just cannot hit the guy.
Here's the other problem, though. West Virginia's white hot too.
They're red hot. Yeah, they are.
Here's of course, there's 10 SEC teams, I think, still in the damn thing. And if you pin like the 2 hot, smaller schools together. Let's let one of them take care of each other, because God forbid we have an upset or a big school getting knocked off.
Yeah, well, and there's how many? I mean, the whole damn tournament's SEC.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, yeah. So, I mean, it is from baseball standpoint, it is like the bluest of blue bloods in there. North Carolina, all the SEC schools, and then Troy.
Come on, Trojans.
Come on, Troy. But Jeff, I got to tell you, all I could think about when I was there, I'm not a huge baseball guy, as I'm wearing a Miami Marlins shirt. I'm getting more into it now that my kid's playing it. But and I played it. I just don't typically care to watch it. But all I could think about when I was there with that environment in the summer, mind you, with nobody on campus, all I could think about was, my God, could you imagine the scene of a college football playoff game in this setting?
That'd be incredible.
Jeff, they had fans in the football stadium watching over, couldn't even hardly see the field, just standing in there trying to get a peek. Then they had other fans sitting. You know how Troy's got like that shaded area on the sideline? They're in there sitting there watching. They got the baseball game on the jumbo screen. I mean, they had people everywhere just to be there, just to be on site. And I mean, it was awesome. I was talking to I talked to Miss Carson, Chuck's wife there, and I was just saying, the best thing about general admission and things like this is this is where the people sit.
No doubt.
It's like when you go, have you ever been to like a watch party? Like for me, I remember when the Heat when LeBron and them were there, and like you could get them, but you were paying $1,000 just to get in the arena when they were in the playoffs. But when they were on the road, they would do watch parties on Biscayne, and like you'd watch it on the side of those crowds, electric. The free crowd, the locals, the people that can actually afford it. When you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're out there general admission just with the people, just in there trying to be a part of it. And I was just thinking, man, all these people, give them a day, give them all day tailgating, get them in the stadium for football, get a big brand. That was, keep in mind, they're playing Little Rock, right? Imagine the scene if that's Auburn or Bama or one of these teams that's in Omaha was coming to town. I mean, that's all I was thinking about, man, is give us a home college football playoff, and it will be a scene like you've never seen before. Look at what happens when game day goes to JMU or App or any of these places. Now put the college football playoff there. Come on, man.
Got to do it. I just, again, I don't see any negatives to it. I really don't. But you know, those schools don't want to go up to Boise in December. No. They don't want to go up to West Point in December.
No, man, neither do I.
Well, we did it.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
I know.
Sprouse, we just had a hell of a court ruling just come down. I mean, what are we doing?
Well, Jeff, we've kind of been on here. You've been on here. Everybody always wants to kind of pick at the NCAA, but we've been saying this on this show. Every time the NCAA tries to put their foot in the ground, they get sued and they lose. And now with this new era, all you got to do is find a judge that's an alumni. You just keep going to court. You just keep going. You just find a new one. Find a judge that's an Ole Miss alum, a Texas Tech alum, an LSU alum, whoever the hell you can find. I mean, it's honestly, dude, it's embarrassing. It really is. And I know, like, there's so many things that players do that are, you know, shameful, really. Like when you look at all the Georgia speeding tickets and car wrecks and guys getting arrested and this and that. And then you have this situation, and there's people that are, well, I mean, all he did was like, yeah, I get it. Like betting is not the same from a legal standpoint as those other things, but this is affecting everybody involved because it affects the integrity of the game. It's totally different. It affects all the regular people that are betting as well.
Well, here you go. This is what you got. Sorsby admitted to placing approximately $90,000 worth of wagers on professional and college sports over a 4-year period, including bets on his own team, Indiana, while he was redshirting there. All right, so the NCAA declares him permanently ineligible, denied Texas Tech's appeal for reinstatement. And then he just goes on down to District Court Judge Ken Curry, Lubbock, Texas. You know what? He would suffer irreparable injury to his athletic career and potential NFL aspirations if he's banned from playing. This just, I mean,
yeah.
So basically, all you have to do now, no matter, you could do anything. Mm-hmm. If a judge says, well, hold on now, because him not playing this last year, that could cause irreparable damage to his future. What is that? What happened to consequences?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
We all knew. They say you cannot gamble of any shape, form, or fashion while you're an athlete. Can't do it. I mean, it's just like rule number one. And when we were there, besides like not taking free food and free stuff, which it's different. But it's like we can't. I mean, it's just a mirror of society that we live in. Doesn't matter what you do, even if you know it's wrong. Even if it's against the rules that you signed up to play, just go find a judge. You know what? It's okay. You can play. Well, he's gonna be hurt.
Don't worry about it. You're exactly right, dude. Like that's what happens when you do something illegal. It does damage your future. Like that's that's what happens. Every decision you make affects your future. I mean, so what's gonna happen? You're right. So what's gonna happen when, I don't know, some player gets in a DUI manslaughter trial, and the judge is like, well, but he's probably going to play in the NFL, so He can't be punished for this. But you know who can? You, me, everybody else, everybody that watches. But Jeff, the other thing, and this is like aside from the gambling and the consequence thing, but like all you have to do right now, like we saw this with some of these players. It happened in basketball a little bit, like these players coming from professional basketball and getting to come back to college, and they're going to court, and all these guys going to court. Well, what's going to happen, Jeff, when LeBron James retires from the NBA because he's lost a step, and Ohio State's like, hey, man, you never played in college. We got this many more millions than a veteran minimum in the NBA right now. We'll just take it to court. Find a judge that's an alum. We'll get you in. We'll get you. I mean, that's you've got no governance of this.
Well, Sprouse, this also, like, what if you were a team in the past that got handed down a punishment by the NCAA? Mm-hmm. Like in years past, over the last 10, 15, 20 years, whatever it was, like, well, it shouldn't even be a punishment anymore.
Jeff,
give me my rings back, or give me whatever back that you took away from me, because you have they don't have no power. They're not even, like, I guess we just all assumed they had this power and everybody agreed to it. And then it just kind of seems like over the last 6-7 years, just chipping away. If you got money to go to court because you're going to win. Pavia, Sorsby, I mean, just go on down the line.
Well, Jeff, what's the term that the judge used? What is it?
Irreparable injury to his athletic career and potential
irreparable
NFL
injury. Well, some of those consequences that were handed to these, programs that violated NCAA rules, or these players or these coaches that violated NCAA rules, created irreparable damage to those programs. Some of those programs have never recovered from losing scholarships and losing bowl eligibility and all those things. They've still not gotten back to where they were before the hammer came down on them. So now what? The other part is, Jeff, and by the way, this show, Group of Five Guys, presented by FanDuel. What did we think was going to happen? What did we think was going to happen when we handed college players hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, and put 15 gambling apps on every phone in America? Well, I mean, honestly,
yeah.
Do we think Brendan Sorsby is the only one? No chance. No chance. Now, is he the only one that's bet 90 grand? Maybe, probably. The other thing that's pissing me off about it too, and like we've been having some interactions with Texas Tech fans, and I tweeted something like they went from hero to villain, and when were we the hero? I'm like, last week when you guys were shitting on Sarkisian in Texas. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And they're like, all we were doing was getting crap. You were getting crap from the SEC stands and the media. That's what you're paying attention to, because now you're one of them, by the way. So now you like, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm like, what do you mean last week and stuff like that? But it's like they're acting like, oh, this guy's got an addiction. He's got a problem. So like we got to make sure we take care of the human being here first. Brother, it's gambling. He's not an alcoholic. He doesn't have a disease. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is so insane to me that this has come to this, that now they're going to try to make everybody feel guilty for not feeling sorry for him. And they say, well, it's going to be tough. We don't want to rush him back. We don't want to rush him back, week 2 or week 3 because like he's coming off of an addiction. He's in rehab. I mean, he's not hurt.
I can't remember the exact episode of South Park, but they are always like spot on. They do one about addiction, and I wish I could remember it, but it's exactly what you're talking about. I think it's like Randy Marsh or something figures out that he can get sympathy by saying he has an addiction, so he just like claims all these addictions. I don't know. We gotta stop. We gotta stop, boys and girls. Like, he knew what he was doing. He did it anyways. He should. I mean, betting on your own team. I don't care if you're a red shirt or not.
On multiple occasions.
You know what's going on in that locker room. You know 100%. The game plan. Like
100%.
that's called insider trading.
Yeah. That's the other part of it that nobody's really talking about. I mean, it's a shame, man.
Sprouse, before they replaced the turf over at Middle, there was 4 giant potholes.
I know.
One of them did irreparable damage to my left knee, tore my ACL.
You got to go to court.
Maybe I can get a year back.
You got to take him to court. I mean, I just can't believe. And then of course it's like, okay, if you're a Texas Tech fan, you're like, I mean, why shouldn't it be allowed? Like it's, and then if you're not a Texas Tech fan, you're all up in arms. But like, okay, everybody else, like, let me back us up here. If Middle's got a quarterback that's really good, and this is happening to him, I'm like, I mean, we took it to court. You went through the legal action, and you. So what do you want me to do? We did what we were supposed to do, and the judge said what the judge said. So we're following the law. That's all we're doing. So everybody's up in arms, but like, let's not pretend like your fandom of a team or of not a team is affecting the way that you feel about all this.
Well, that's why you're supposed to have rules and regulations that everybody abides by. And this is cut and dry, black and white. I mean, this is what it is. But now you can just go to court. You got the money to do it.
I also love one last thing, and then we got to talk Conference USA, Jeff. We're 25 minutes in. I also love how like the Texas Tech fans, like, whoa, when were we ever the hero? Everybody's always hated us. And I'm like, okay, hold on. Nobody ever gave a damn about Texas Tech until 6 months ago at all. So like, quit acting like you've been this, most hated program. Yeah. Nobody cared about y'all.
No, you've been irrelevant in the Big 12 for I can't tell how long.
Yeah, I mean, since Graham Harrell, the quarterback. I mean, even with Mahomes, like, they weren't like a national thing.
I don't even think they won their conference.
Oh, anyway, Jeff, we got to talk Conference USA. I've been getting into my preseason prep a little bit. Conference USA is better than people think it is, man.
We always say that.
We always do. But it's gotten like with the additions, everybody calls it it's a borderline FCS conference. But with the additions of the teams that they've brought up, it's gotten better. I mean, really. I mean, those are the best teams in the conference, as a whole. But anyway, the way we did this last week with the American, we're going to talk about, is pressure coming from the fans? Is it coming from the administration? Is their job on the line? Is it just coming from their own building, or do they not have any pressure at all? So let's start. Western Kentucky, Tyson Helton.
I think there's pressure from himself. I as far as I know, I think the admin's very happy with what he's done, especially with all the turnover they've had and coordinators and transfer players and all that stuff. I don't think there's a ton of pressure, but I feel like he has a standard and he wants to. I mean, he's got to win this conference now. I mean, they're always at the top. They're top 3 to 4 best teams in the conference year in and year out. Another new OC this year. We'll see how that goes. I know it's Helton's show and he's calling, he has a lot to do with the play calling, but I don't think there's fan pressure, maybe a little bit because they want to win a chip. I don't think there's administration pressure. I just think that he knows that it's time that they get it done. Now, they're going to lose when it comes to November when they bring their ass up to Murfreesboro, but that's a whole nother thing.
You got a lot of pressure to win at Johnny Red Floyd Stadium. Jeff, they have not won Conference USA since 2016. So I think there's some pressure there, like you said. Like they're every year we get on here, every pundit gets on there and says, Western Kentucky, they're the favorite, or Liberty, they're the favorite. Western Kentucky hadn't won it since 2016. Now, you look at last year, they lose by 3 at Jacksonville State, which would have gave them a 10-win team and a shot at the conference title. So a 10-win team playing for the conference championship, nobody's saying anything. And I don't think anybody's saying anything at all. But they lose by 3 at Jack State. The week before that, they lose by 3 in Baton Rouge against LSU. So you're talking about a team that's 2 plays away from winning 11 games, playing for the Conference USA championship for a 12th win. You know what I mean? Like they're right there. Now, I do think there was maybe some anxiety out of the fan base when they started out, and we were there, They started out so hot, and it looked like, oh man, here we go again. We got another one, and then it kind of just fell off a little bit. Middle to the late of the season. So I think you're right. Pressure inside their building for sure, and you want that because they know what the expectation is there, and they know that this is going to be the first time in 6 years that they take a loss to Middle Tennessee. So
Topper was. In the
I know
chat.
he is.
I don't know. If
I know he's got 2,000 something days since we won. You know what I mean?
Shout out our guy Iverson Reed, clanging and banging at the gym's got us on.
A late night workout. Now the question is, do you go pre-workout if you work out this late, or do you go non-stim pre-workout?
No, I can't go. I won't go to bed if I take a pre-workout.
I don't think we have time. Well, we'll talk about it next week. About the come up I had this weekend, Jeff. Speaking of working out, we'll talk about it. Liberty Flames, Jeff, which by the way, this hat is arguably my favorite hat. The script Liberty, I mean
the rope.
The problem is it's white. And every time I go like this or something like that, I'm getting freaking greasy or whatever. Yeah. So Liberty Flames, Jamie Chadwell, 2 years removed from a Fiesta Bowl appearance, a New Year's Bowl game. What do you think?
I think the fans are impatient. I think they have a very high standard, and they got maybe a little too used to. I mean, really, just that. I mean, his first year where he inherited a lot of talent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think the bar is set very high. I think they know this. Now, I think the administration is fine, but fans are going to be not happy if they're not competing for a title.
Yeah. I think what started this Iverson Natty. Come on, buddy. It's time to step that up. You're not a child anymore. I think that the pressure or the noise is coming from a loud minority of fans, but I think that minority is growing, and I think that's where Jamie Chadwell might be feeling a little bit. I mean, again, this is a guy that 2 years ago was the hot name. I mean, he was the next man up. Him and John Summerall were kind of coming up together, and now it's like, okay, now you're at Liberty, buddy, so it's time to win. And I think what made it so frustrating is last year, man, like they lost some close games, but they had 2 4-game losing streaks in one season. Now, you look at who they lost to and how they lost. You look at the first 4-game losing streak, and it's a tough part of the schedule. It's Jacksonville State, Bowling Green, James Madison, and ODU. You probably should have got Bowling Green based on the way they finished last year. But Jack State, JMU, and ODU, I mean, they were both really good. You play them 4 weeks in a row. And then to end the season, you lose 3 straight games all in overtime. So, like, you know what I mean? I hate doing this, but it looks a little worse than it was.
Yeah.
And you had some losses like FIU, I think, beat them in overtime where it was like, probably shouldn't be doing that. But again, it's the same as Western Kentucky. You and Liberty especially, because you've got probably better resources than anybody in this conference. You got everything you could ask for. You get guys on campus. You probably got, I don't think NIL is a huge factor for 99% of this conference, but Liberty's got a little bit of that, and they can use it. So theoretically, you're getting who you want as far as competing in this conference. You've got the facilities, you've got the fan support, you've got the crowds, you've got the stadium, you've got it all. So there's not an excuse at Liberty.
Yeah, and that's
so I think if they have some struggles like they did last year, then I think that noise is going to become the majority of the fan base. The admin, I think, it's like they're happy with who they got probably. But they can't lose 8 games again.
No, that'll change real quick if they start out slow. That volume knob will just start to go up and up.
Yes, it will. Kennesaw State defending champs, Jerry Mack.
I think there's 0 admin pressure. I think there's 0 fan pressure. But I think he's got a standard as well. And he wants to be back in that game and wants to get it done.
they had some dudes last year that they don't have this year. So any pressure that he may be feeling is probably he wants to prove to himself, like, okay, we had a Mariota, we had Coleman Bennett, like we had some dudes that like kind of came out of nowhere at Kennesaw State. I mean, when I went and saw them play middle, I was like, God, they got some freaking they got some dudes on this team. I think that Jerry Mack is I'm going to be realistic here, like I was last week talking about the American, is he's probably not a long-term Kennesaw State head coach. So you're coming off of a championship. Now, if you fall totally off the map, then I think you're not that name anymore. So I think he probably knows, like, I got to win again to get the next job. So I think there's some coaches that are kind of feeling like that, where that's where the pressure is. Like, I got to win so that I can get the job that's going to pay me, several $1 million.
Yeah.
But other than that, close to zero pressure for him. And same thing when you go to Jacksonville State with Charles Kelly. I mean, you hosted a championship game that you lost at the last second, and I think they're going to be damn good this year too.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, that's where I was going to go is again, I don't think there's any fan pressure. I don't think there's any admin pressure. I think they're very happy with that, hire. He wants to win the title, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you drop it at home, that's a tough loss, but I think they're going to be right there. I mean, Jack State's a hidden gem.
It's so awesome up there, man.
Like, great.
If you're listening to this show, if you're a Conference USA fan, or if you play them in the non-conference and you go to Jacksonville, you gotta go, man. We went twice last year. Well, I went twice. We went once as a group, and it is like, it's a shame that it's not like widely broadcast as to what it is up there. I mean, the fan support, I talked about it too, like the band, everything they got going there is like, it's in this little honey hole. Ain't a whole lot going on in Jacksonville, Alabama. And what's the name of that little sports bar down the road?
I can't think of it.
Right down the hill. I can't think of the damn name of it. Phenomenal place though. But the thing about Jacksonville State is, I think some of these schools, like this would have been Liberty 2 years ago. Jacksonville State and probably Kennesaw State are like, the fans are feeling the pressure. Like, if this guy wins again, we're going to lose him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's where Charles Kelly's at Jack State. Delaware, Ryan Carty.
I don't think there's a ton of pressure right now. I think it might mount if they have a poor season. But, last year, first year in Conference USA, like I don't think there was a ton of expectations outside. Inside of that building, I know they had high expectations, but I think he's fine. Now, he starts out slow, loses games they shouldn't. That's a whole nother story. But, man, I'm a fan of the Blue Hens. I really do like them. I think they're a program that's been good for a really long time. So there's always that expectation of, like, we want to be competing.
That's right.
But your second year in, I don't think they're quite expectations there yet for that.
They are going to have the same issue that a place like Georgia Southern has, where, not to the extent, but where you're a national championship contender for a long time in the FCS. And that's, the fans are just used to winning. They don't care who you're playing or what night of the week you're playing. They're used to winning and competing for championships. Now, that being said, I think Delaware is going to be competing for a Conference USA championship this year. So I think you said it exactly right. Last year, it's your first year. Like, nobody's kind of waiting to see what they look like. And we found out, they're pretty damn good. They got some guys. They got some guys coming back too. So I think there's big expectations there this year, and they return a lot. So any noise or pressure will mount after this year, I think, if they don't succeed. Yeah. But I think they will. Go down to Miami, Jeff. FIU, our boy Willie Simmons.
I don't think there's a ton of pressure there. Not right off the rip. I think he's a great coach. He's got a great staff. 7-6 a year ago. You want to see a jump, though, especially in conference. Like we've always said it, FIU always has guys, always has speed, always has like a D lineman that can get after the quarterback, and then they lose them. So that's always the tough thing about FIU. I don't think there's a ton of fan pressure because I don't think their fan base is
don't have a ton of fans
that large. I think the admin loves their hire and I love it too. But I know Coach Simmons. He wants to win championships. He's got an internal pressure, an internal expectation of being great and winning chips. So, not a ton of outside pressure, not a ton of admin pressure, but I would say he's got some internal pressure.
Yeah, and I think that internal pressure is pretty heavy because we kind of heard through the grapevine that staff is wanting bigger and better things as well. So they need to show that improvement, which hasn't happened a lot at FIU. Like you've sort of seen them play better, but you haven't seen the wins increase. And so, you win seven games in year one down at FIU. That's a big time season. Now go do it again, like you said, and now go win. Like they won a couple of games that nobody really expected them to last year. So now everybody kind of knows what they're going to be. Nobody's going to sleepwalk against FIU. So now go win some big time conference games and compete for the title. I don't think you got to win it there to have, to be successful. But I think you're right. You go win 8 or 9 games and you're in that title contention late in the year. I think that's some damn success for FIU.
Agreed.
Missouri State. Casey Woods, year one.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of pressure, especially similar how, just basically getting into conference. I don't think there's fan pressure. I don't think there's admin pressure. I think the expectation is relatively low, with the new staff. So I don't think there's a lot of pressure at all.
Yeah, I think it's a wait and see year. Obviously the fans want to win. They lose their guy. And so then anytime you come in and replace a coach that was relatively successful, you've got some pressure there. But it's not like he's coming in replacing, Kurt Signetti, or, you know what I mean? So I think it's a wait and see year at Missouri State. New Mexico State, Tony Sanchez.
I think there's a bit of pressure there. When you're coming off being in the Conference USA Championship a couple years back against Liberty to having, a 4-8 season a year ago, I think there's a bit of pressure mounting. I don't think it's full inferno yet, but I would say it's there. I know New Mexico State's a tough place to win. There's not been a ton of coaches that have been able to be successful there, but you got a taste of being in a championship game. They want to get back.
I'll tell you what else to me, and maybe this is a naive, Southeast guy and not a West Coast guy or whatever, but to me, there's pressure there because the success that New Mexico's having with Jason Eck.
Very good point.
And so you might look at that like, well, what the hell? New Mexico's been a tough place to win too, but damn it, they're doing it. So, and we've done it before. Now, granted, you have Pavia and you kind of strike gold with a couple of guys, but yeah, I think there's a little bit there. Jeff, you know what I've done here. I hope you know what I've done. Let's go Sam Houston, Phil Longo. I think for Sam Houston, I think it's mostly from the fans. I think it's a little bit loud there because last year was rough. But it was year one. He kind of had a roster, including the quarterback, that didn't really fit what they want to do. You remember being at Western Kentucky watching Sam Houston. They had Hunter Watson, and we're like, Hunter Watson's the guy, and they weren't running him
a pocket passer.
They're trying to keep him in the pocket. And maybe you could say, the great coaches have their roster and they navigate their scheme around who they have. But, he kind of had his system and wants to do what he does regardless of who's there. So I think there was that. They end up switching quarterbacks. We've got the same guy coming back this year. So I think there's some noise. I think there's some pressure. I don't know that there's any like hot seat talk, but again, if they mess around and do what they did last year again, then you're absolutely right. Then there'll be a lot of pressure. But I think it's a little bit of like, okay, now he's got some pieces in place. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a rational thought, right? Is to
Be careful with rations.
I don't know. Going into year 2, got to see, how this season starts out, how it looks. But I think it's going to build quickly if it doesn't start going in the right direction. I mean, it's another program that's used to winning.
Yep.
And was competitive too when they first got into Conference USA. So we'll see what happens. I think there's a low simmer on the pressure meter, and that thing could crank up to a boil about halfway through the season if it starts bad.
Yeah. Jeff, do we have any voicemails?
Yeah, we got 2.
Okay. Well, we got 15 minutes to talk about Middle Tennessee and Derek Mason.
Would you like to start?
I would like to defer. Look, Jeff. I think he's got pressure coming from every angle here. Most of it's probably coming from himself. If he's the competitive guy like I think that he is, I think it's mostly coming from himself. The fan pressure, it's gotten, and this is even the case in the last 2-3 years of Coach Stock. It was like the fans are so apathetic now, like they've lost it. Like there's not a whole lot of people left. I mean, I think, to be quite honest with you, Jeff, I think you and I, and when we started doing this podcast and our social media, I think more people watch Middle Tennessee that don't give a damn about Middle Tennessee, but just want to talk trash to us.
Yeah.
Than actually care about Middle Tennessee. I believe it. I truly believe it. So you're welcome for the ratings. The admin pressure is very interesting because of the fact that you're going to get a new president. Which, do we know anything about this yet?
Nope. I have heard a committee has been put together. That's what I've heard.
You've heard what now?
A committee has been put together to search for the new president.
To search? Jeff, when are they supposed to start? In 2 months?
Don't know.
We can't even do that.
Well, he's got to the end of the year, the calendar year.
Okay, to the calendar year.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's okay. Perfect. So that's even bigger because you'll know the result of this season.
Yeah.
By the time we get a new president. So you're going to have a new president. You may or may not have a new AD. I mean, depending on who the new president is. So they're going to want their guy, whether he's been successful. I mean, typically, like, you get a new AD and a new president, like, they're looking for a reason to get your ass out of there. Now, you go win a bunch of games, they're going to have no choice but to hang on to you. So I think there's pressure from that perspective on the admin side. There's just, Jeff, we've talked about this for 5 years. There's just zero reason that Middle shouldn't be not just a winning program, like shouldn't be like one of the top group of 6, group of 5 programs in the country. And now a lot of the excuses that we said, although it's late, well, you got it now. You got the facility now. You got all the stuff that everybody's been asking for. And NIL, like I mentioned earlier when we were talking about Liberty, is like, I don't think Middle's losing guys to Western based on NIL. I don't think. I mean, not by a lot. Maybe they are. But, you know, there's just nobody's throwing millions at a quarterback in Conference USA. No. You know what I mean? So to me, it's like you've now got everything that you could ask for there, to include the growth of Middle Tennessee, which should provide so many. It's like we always say, you know, FIU, FAU, they always got guys because of what Broward, Dade County, Palm Beach County is. Well, now Murfreesboro and Nashville is like that now. So Middle should be one of those schools that, like, they always got dudes, but right now they don't. I mean, when you watch them last year, they just don't have it. So you're missing in recruiting. You're maybe missing in the portal. You're maybe missing in development. And so now it's year 3. Okay. So like it's kind of put up or shut up at this point, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, this is the year that you're supposed to compete for a title. And, you got both. You got a new offensive coordinator this year. People seem to be excited about him. But I think there's a ton of fan pressure. I don't think there's a lot of admin pressure because McPhee is leaving. And we don't know what's going to happen with Massaro. I know they feel pressure on the inside. You have to if you have a pulse. So, I think there's pressure mounting all over. And Middle Tennessee is one of the hotbeds, I'm going to be honest, in multiple sports, not just football. But for whatever reason, we just can't seem to get them. To get them, keep them. I don't know if we're going after them or if we're not even trying or what the deal is. I know, he made a big push the first couple of years to get some local kids. They should be sophomores at this point, after a redshirt freshman year and then a sophomore year. So maybe some of them are juniors. I don't know. But we'll see. It's definitely, you got to win. You got to win this season. There's no doubt about it. Because honestly, the fan support is about as low as it's ever been in the 16 years that I've lived here. So
yeah,
there's a couple.
It's been on a
there's a couple
steady
people
decline.
still left, and they're about to. Yeah, they're close to losing the other ones too.
Yeah. So between Coach Mason and Phil Longo, Mason's got it from all three sides. I think. It's similar, but Phil Longo's just a year behind. You know what I mean? It's kind of the way I'm looking at it. But Mason, especially with and that's not his fault that there's going to be a new president and potentially a new AD. That's
no.
Like I said, they're going to be looking anyway. So it's like when you're a player and you get a new
happen though. We are long overdue. We need a new president. We need 100%. Leadership.
What can we get a committee to get Kelly Damphus down there?
Something.
But Jeff, you think about it as a player, when you get a new position coach or you get a new head coach. We never got a new head coach, but you get a new position coach, you get a new coordinator. It's like, okay, we got to prove ourselves all over again. Or if you're a guy that, wasn't getting it with the other one, it's like, hell yeah, now it's time. Now's my chance to kind of start a reset.
Yeah.
But then if you don't perform, then you're going to be in the same spot.
We'll see. I just know we're beating Western in November. That's the only thing I know. We might not win any other game.
I was just going to say, have we gotten to that point where that's all we care about?
That's all I care about at this point.
Oh, well, Jeff, we got a couple voicemails. If you want to call the hotline, talk about Conference USA, or we'll probably do, I don't know. We'll probably do Mountain West next. If you got a take on that, call the hotline at 615-900-4286. I believe it's a 2-minute, 3-minute limit on that.
I think it's a 3-minute.
Probably need to change it to 2 during the season.
Yeah,
during the season, you get 15 of these people calling from the porta potty after a tough, heartbreaking loss. And, you can't do 3 minutes.
Speaking of Stu's Right, I hadn't heard from that guy in a while.
I haven't heard from Stu's Right. Jeff, what do we got?
Group of 5 guys, Josh Bevel here. Just wanted to comment on some things from y'all's most previous episode. I think some guy in the chat said that I'm in week 0 form. I stay ready. I freaking stay ready. I'm always on edge. I know a lot of you guys don't know me personally, but if you knew me personally, I'm always on edge. 24/7 on edge, ready to run through a freaking brick wall, ready to go, ready for football season. But, Sprouse, she, did have the baby, last August, coming close to a year old now, which is great. He's doing good, all good things there. We're going to get him down to the Borough in the fall. Hopefully, at the same time when you guys come to the Borough, I know you like to come to at least one game a year, Sprouse. We need to get Murph down to Statesboro for a football game. But, the question that I got for you guys is, you get a guy, y'all are just talking about the American, your Brian Hartlines, Huff, whatever. Let's just say they have a good season. I'm just going to use Hartline and USF for an example. let's say they have a good season, they make the college football playoff, and they win the conference championship. Heartline's probably gone after 1 year. How do these teams in the group of five sustain success? Obviously, if you have success, the money's going to come. But also, you got to hire the right people and get the guys in to recruit, the top talents in the group of five. How are you able to sustain success hiring coaches year in and year out? I understand the money part, but how can trust your athletic director and your administration to sustain the success? Because if you have good years, you got good Olympic sports too in the group of five. Your AD's gone. It's just the reality of it. So how are group of five teams supposed to sustain success year in and year out when obviously the money will come? Hopefully it will. But how do we get these coaches to stay? How do we hire the next guy? Because they're going to want to bring their staff with them. How does that happen? I wanted to know your guys' thoughts. And also, too, you get a school like Middle. Y'all have always said the administration's not backing the athletic programs. How do you get the administration to back the athletic programs? What are you guys' thoughts on that? And how do you fix that problem for specifically Middle Tennessee and other schools like that? All right, fellas. I appreciate it. Thanks for all you do. God bless the group of five. God bless the group of five guys. Hail Southern.
Appreciate you, Josh.
Well, Josh, we've been trying to fix that situation at Middle for a long time, man.
Yeah, I think. As far as trying to hold the administration accountable, that's tough. You got to be involved, and you got to have conversations with people, whether it's uncomfortable or not. Like, if you're an alumni, especially if you're a former player, like, be involved and be around. If you care about your program and you want it to be good, like, you have to be. There's no other way. Don't not show up for 10 years, but then go on Facebook and talk about
every time they lose. Yep.
Every time they lose, or when I was there, this or that. It's like, dude, go to the game. They all the admin, they all want to have relationships. They want to know who you are. They want you to be around. The players want you to be around. Like, so number one, you got to be around. Got to have at least invest your time. You don't have to invest money. Talk to AD. Talk to the associate AD. If you get in front of the president, talk to him. Now, there's only so much you can do. Like, and that's where we've been at with Middle, is we've needed a new president for, honestly, like when we were there, Sprouse. Like, we needed new leadership. And you saw what happens when you don't have a leader in place at your university, and it goes on down to the athletic department. Like, you got to strike. You got to know when the iron is hot, and you got to be able to strike. When we won the New Orleans Bowl, it was 11-2 the year before we got there. That is when investment in facilities and programs and all the things that needed to happen. Tennessee was down. Vandy was down.
Memphis was down.
Memphis was down. You had prime real estate, and you just sat on it, and you did nothing for a decade. And you just let Tennessee kind of climb back up, Vandy climb up, Memphis climb up, and Middle was just Middle, and it didn't do anything. And now you're trying to dig yourself out of a hole, and I don't know if there's a way to dig out. Quite honest with you.
Yeah. Well, on the first part of his question about, like, what do you do with these guys that are one successful year and they're gone? I've always said eventually it catches up. Eventually when you have that, when you have the success of App State, where you go through Satterfield and Drinkwitz, is like, eventually it's just not going to work. And I think it's even harder now because of the way that programs are built with the portal. You look at a place like Boise State that's kind of been able to do that even before all this NIL stuff, right? Like, they had coaches taking the bigger job, and they kept winning. They just kept winning. And part of that is it's just a culture. Like, we've talked about that with some of these FCS schools that came up, like James Madison came up, right? And we're going to see it now with James Madison, because they're going to go through coach after coach after coach, and now they're on the third one. And we'll see if they can have success. Can they sustain it? But when you do have the culture in place where everybody involved, president, AD, boosters, alum, students, everybody involved is pulling in the same direction, then your head coach is just one more, it's just a guy. It's just another guy in the mix. But when it's what we have now is, let's spend all our money, let's try to win right now, and then whatever happens after that, we're not even thinking about, because we're just trying to win today. You have this short-sighted view, you can't really build that culture. Like, I mean, and then everybody's gone. The coaches are gone, the players are gone, the alumni are guys that were there for a year or maybe a semester, some of them, maybe 2 years. And so it's really difficult to build that culture in today's landscape. So I think it's going to be even harder to do that when you have these guys.
The last thing I'll say about it, and it goes back to leadership of the university and the athletic department. When you have somebody who knows that this is going to happen, right? But you build processes and systems in place to where it doesn't completely blow your back out when that coach leaves, because it's set from the top. When the president has a vision and a philosophy in that culture, and the AD is on board, then it's easy for the head coach to do it. When he leaves, you just find another guy that fits your culture. Just like if you're a coach and a quarterback leaves, I'm going to get a guy to come in and fit that position, my offense, my scheme, that culture. It's the same thing. But like you said, Sprouse, when you got a president that don't care, and you got an AD that he's doing whatever, going to hire a coach, then all of a sudden the president comes in last minute. It's like, no, you're going to hire this guy. Well,
Jeff, are you saying that may have happened somewhere?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just giving you a scenario. Giving you a scenario, Sprouse. That's all I'm saying.
Jeff, one other thing on that call. Great call, by the way, Josh.
Fantastic.
You were a little more docile tonight. But growing up, as everybody knows, Miami Hurricane fan. So we'd go down there. Like in high school, like that was where, you'd get that one game a year when your whole team would go, or the coach would go. But we'd go down there to practices. I remember going to a bunch of camps down there. And that's what they always said about going to Miami, is when you go to practice, when you go to spring practice, everybody's back. Anybody that's played there, everybody that's coached there, anybody that's been anything involved is going to be down there. And you're damn right they were. You'd go down there to practice in the spring, and Ray Lewis is standing. And now, obviously, it's a little different caliber of guys. We were talking about the heyday of the U there. But Ray Lewis would be down there. Michael Irvin would be down there. They're all there at practice. But you know what? You know who they're with? The president of the university, the AD, Jimmy Johnson, the former coaches, the new coach. And everybody knows what the mission is. Everybody knows what the goal is. And so you got to get a little bit of that, even if those former players are, just guys like us. You know what I mean? Just being back, having relationships with the players, rooting for them, supporting them. But anyway, we got one more call we got to get to.
Yep.
Group of 5 guys, Iverson Rig, Coastal Carolina.
That's why he's listening.
This is actually not football related, but I'm just going to quote Young Nudie. Ooh wee, look what money make a bitch do. First off, sorry. Second of all, yeah, not only did we go 0-2 in the Tallahassee regional, but Kevin Schnall, our former baseball coach, is now
South Carolina
Gamecock. So really sucks how much money can just make things change in an instant. How quickly it can just go from day to dark. But for the most part, I'm not super concerned, just off of the fact of, of what Coastal's baseball program is and how, how it's a well-known program. And I'm sure there's going to be people who want the job. I trust that Chance Miller is going to make a good hire for this, but it just sucks that he's going to Columbia, and now we're just going to have to hear from Gamecock fans who have Alabama cockiness, but they have a Vanderbilt trophy case. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, yeah, y'all have 2 natties, but they are from damn near 20 years ago. Y'all are starting to sound like Texas football. But, you know, sucks. It is what it is. I guess what confuses me is that Kevin Schnall did his time waiting for this job for 20 plus years. And then once Gilly retired, he took the job, and then, 2 years later, he's out. He's in Columbia. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. This doesn't make sense. But anyway, thank you guys for what you do covering G5 or G6 football. Can't wait to hear more stuff from you guys. Shots up. Better.
Yeah, it sucks, man. Like, there's just no other word for it. Like, it just sucks.
But you know what, though? Yeah, I mean, he said it. It goes back to what we talked about on the last call, though. For their baseball program, that's a program.
Mm-hmm.
So more than likely, whoever comes in, it's like we're still coastal when it comes to this thing, and so they've got a culture and they've got hopefully a system in place that's going to bring in their next guy. So
I hope so.
We'll see. We'll see, Jeff. I was curious. I was checking. The Knicks are losing by 15 in the fourth quarter at the moment.
Mm.
What's the FanDuel odds on how many Spurs fans they attempt to assault after the game today? I mean, what an embarrassment, the Knicks fans. I mean, it just speaks to I don't know.
Coming from a Miami Heat fan, huh?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Because all those people, they come from New York because it sucks so bad. And then they make their whole personality about how they're from New York. It's like, nobody cares, dude. You guys embarrass yourselves every time you're on national television. And we're supposed to root for these people to win a title? Anyway.
Won't have it.
Can you imagine a New York Knicks fan? Because there's going to be a lot of them going down the Riverwalk in San Antonio and some San Antonioans. San
Antones. Oh,
there's my light. It gets my own lights telling me to quit. Look at that. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. They're down, so that series is about to be tied 2-2.
Going back to San Antonio.
Unless wild comeback would happen. But that'd be great, man, because they were already planning the parade.
They were.
And I don't like either team.
I don't either.
I can't stand either one. I mean, as a Heat fan, I hate the Knicks, of course, but we've had our dealings with the Spurs as well.
I hope they all just get the flu. Sick. They got to cancel the game.
COVID comes with the hantavirus, which, by the way, just magically disappeared. But they shut down the whole season.
Take us home, Strauss.
Well, we appreciate everybody watching and listening. This has been Group of Five Guys presented by FanDuel. If you like the show, make sure you follow us on all the social platforms at Group of Five Guys. Go to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Believe Network, wherever you get your best podcasts. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a 5-star rating and a review. Tell your family and friends all about us. Have a great rest of your Wednesday evening. Great rest of your week. We'll see you next week. We're out of here.